Maybe you can talk about why you're here today?
Because of outrage.
What are you outraged about?
I'm outraged about Elon Musk destruction of the government.
Has it affected you personally?
People I know, yes.
What's happening with them?
Well, they're not getting the grants that they were getting, federal grants, the DEI things that they had set up and wherever they work has been destroyed and stuff like that.
You think they're destroying America?
Absolutely.
Why?
Why? I mean, I find it hard to understand how, there's so much mess and destruction and wanton cruelty and hatred. I don't know how we're going to recoup from this. It's going to be hard.
It seems to be waking people up.
Yes, it does.
You're against DOGE?
Absolutely. My husband's a federal worker, so we hate having someone come in and fire everyone needlessly.
And what kind of work does your husband do?
He's an attorney for the Forest Service.
And what are they doing this for? I mean, it seems like it's disassembly.
They say it's to make it more efficient, but it absolutely isn't. Firing people is making the same amount of work for fewer people and less efficiency.
And why has he been put in such a powerful position? Do you think he bought his way in?
Absolutely, 100%.
What's happening with America?
It's very sad, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to be out here while we can, speaking against the fascism.
Are you afraid that they're going to try to prohibit demonstrations?
I'm a little nervous.
I'm here to try to make Tesla stock go down and hopefully wake up Elon to turn back his craziness. And hopefully by affecting his bottom line, that's what we're gonna try to do, is do it through economic, bring down Tesla. That's kind of why we're here.
You think that will stop Trump?
It probably won't right away, but if the economy continues to tank, that might be a way for him to change he probably won't change, no.
Also, I mean, there's talk about using the insurrection laws to set up a dictatorship. Are you concerned about the threat of fascism in this country?
I'm very concerned about possible fascism, no question. I think all the checks and balances are like in tenuous state right now, right? I mean, hopefully the courts are going to stay, but we don't know. I mean, we're almost in a constitutional crisis already. So,
what kind of work do you do?
I'm a designer and an artist.
The rise of fascism is not just in the United States, it's all over the world, Germany and others. What's going on? Why do you think this is happening?
I think it's still an effect of 2008 financial crisis, right? And we never really fixed the system, so we're helping people get better jobs, educating people, making sort of bringing the bottom up, being contributing to the middle class. I think that's still a big problem, we never really dealt with that. So I think this is just kind of the culmination.
Where's it going?
I think it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better.
It's like the stock market may collapse. I mean, with these tariffs and trade wars against Canada.
It could get a lot worse. It could get a lot worse. I'm definitely worried. That's why I'm out. I feel like I have to do something. I feel helpless, but maybe there's this one little thing we can kind of try to continually convert people little by little to kind of rise up. I think I don't know if we could do a general strike, but I think that's what we need to do, is just shut everything down.
Well, he may be leading it on if the government shut down, and then...
I think that's going to be a key point. What is it, March 14th? That's going to be a key point, and see what happens there.
My name's Zora.
And you say oust the oligarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they?
The billionaires that think that they can use their power through money to influence our democratic institutions.
And it seems like they've captured the government at the inauguration. You had all the billionaires there, Meta, Google. How did that happen?
It happened in many ways that I'm probably not the best person to talk about, but I know that campaign finance reform is something that needs to happen to get money out of politics and get the power back into the people's hands. So I think that's why many people are here today, because we just want fair, democratic institutions that aren't influenced by billionaires like Elon Musk.
And what do you think their goal is? Because it seems like they're laying off thousands of federal workers and destroying programs, Title I in education, and the NIH programs for public health and research. I mean, it seems like a destruction of everything in the United States.
I agree with you completely. So I don't know what they think will happen. It seems pretty obvious that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to suffer, and a lot of the people who are already suffering, their lives are going to get much harder. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the people who voted for Donald Trump are going to see that they are also, their lives are also going to become worse and worse with this government that is allowing billionaires to create things like DOGE, which is only doing harm to us American citizens.
I think billionaires should be allowed. They should allow people to control the wealth. I mean, it's like 3 families control 50% of the wealth of the United States. It seems like.
Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine why you would need $1 billion+ So I don't think I'm the right person to comment about that.
The oligarchy's got to go.
Yes, what's more important is the money in government. It's not about personal wealth. That's a person's own thing, but we do need to tax the rich so that we can create systems for a sustainable democracy in our country.
My name's David, and I'm a pissed off American citizen who does not want democracy taken away from me, and that's what's happening right now.
How has it happened to you personally? How do you think it's happened?
It's going to affect me in terms of housing, medicine, and a job because I serve the disabled.
And those programs may be shut down?
They may be shut down. I assist people, many people who receive Medicaid. They're going to cut Medicaid if they're going to go through with their so-called plan to downsize government and give that money to the billionaires.
They don't have enough money already. I guess they need more.
Oh God, people, yeah. Once the greed instinct sinks in, you can't get rid of it.
And you're in a union. Why don't you talk about what you think the union should be doing about this?
Well, SEIU is actively out there doing demonstrations, but they're not here with us right now, and that makes me sad.
They should be there, all the unions. I mean, the service workers, the public workers, he doesn't believe in unions.
Yeah, so, and also, we should be protesting outside of Whole Foods. I mean, they're right up the street. We should be doing both.
The oligarchy seem to have taken over America. Is there any, are you concerned about the rise of fascism? There's a fascist movement around the world now.
There are fascists amongst us. And yes, we should be very concerned. Because give them, the rise of fascism, the taking over of a state by a fascist regime is something this ordinary citizen does not see happening. That's how it was in Germany, and that's how it's going to be here if people don't wake up.
And the government may shut down in a week and a half. I mean, he's blamed the air traffic controllers for the cause of accidents while he's laying off air traffic controllers.
Right.
You think it's time for a general strike?
It is time for a general strike. I mean, he doesn't want our federal government to function. Well, why should we allow society to function? Because basically he's saying stop everything. So fine, yeah, I'm going to get with that program. Let's shut it down.
That might affect their profits, though.
Oh, well, I'm not concerned about their profits. Hey, it's our lives over their profits. That's what it boils down to.
Are you surprised by the turnout? It seems like people are angry. Regular people are just fed up.
I'm very surprised, and especially at sites where MAGA Red had voted him in. Their representatives are so afraid, so cowardly that they can't even go to a town hall and finish the job they were intended to do by being there with the people. They have to run and hide. Now they're telling each other, do not have live town halls. Do it online. Do it remotely. Oh, really? That's how afraid they are.
Democracy at work.
Well, unfortunately, the Republican Party leadership in Congress will not fight Trump on anything. And some of the Democrats are, you know, what was the man's name? He protested.
Al Green, President Green.
And so what? 10 Democrats vote with Republicans to censor him?
What does that say?
It says that they're all cowards. And we don't need that. We need people who are strong enough to represent us, not the special interest, not billionaire Elon Musk.
You think that there should be a Labor Party? Because the Democrats and Republicans kind of are both supported by billionaires.
They are, and they support the whole middle of the road philosophy. It allows billionaires like Musk and Bezos and others to really run our society. That is not what should be happening.
Seems like they're destroying the country.
What?
Destroying the country?
Yeah, they are. They are. You lay off that many workers, you're going to harm every agency where that's happening. Then that will ultimately harm people who receive services or benefits or just need basic information to get by on a daily basis. So our dysfunctional federal government, no matter how we may have criticized it in the past, is now going to go into cinders. It's just going to fall apart, and that's what he wants.
Could you even imagine this?
No. I think we better be ready to do everything. The skills that we've given over to consumerist society, we need to take back. Yes!
Seems like the firemen support this.
I think so. Anyway, I think people should wake up, and I'm not talking woke, even though I have no criticism of the term woke, but people should wake up because we will have to depend on our own skills, our own hands to shape what we need each day. Because it's going to fall apart and it won't be available. You're not going to make a run on toilet paper, okay?
Go back to Mars, Elon.
Yeah. He may not be an alien, but he's alienated everybody that used to buy his cars. They are not buying Teslas anymore. We didn't have to tell anybody to boycott it. They saw what he was doing and quit buying them. Now, we can't criticize anybody who bought the car before. They're trying to save the planet. We get it. But nobody buying them now. That man is not going to be a billionaire much longer.
You think the company's going to crash?
I do. I think the company's going to go way downhill. He already alienated California, where most of the people who buy electric cars live. Because he was treating the people in his factory, all the black people, he was treating them badly. And he
called it the plantation.
And we came down on him, and he got mad and left California. Yay! We were great. We were happy about that. But he forgets the rest of the country doesn't love electric cars like we do. He's not going to be able to sell his cars. Now he's going to have to pay to do something with the sheet metal and all the stuff they're made from.
What's your name?
Star.
How long have you been out here?
Oh, I just got here a few minutes ago, but I was here yesterday. And I just live kitty corner across the street, so whenever I hear people out here, I just grab my sign and come on out.
Okay, it sounds like it's growing.
I think so, yeah. Yesterday was a big crowd. And Friday we had the pro-scientist rally. All the people that are worried about their jobs and worried about everybody else if they're not able to.
They don't believe in science, apparently.
Yeah, apparently they think science is some kind of a hoax. Now, whenever anybody says that about like vaccines and stuff, I say there would never have been 8 billion humans on this planet were it not for vaccines. So somebody's wrong somewhere about that. I don't know if having 8 billion people is really a good thing, but it would never have happened without vaccination.
Trump is also talking maybe about bringing the insurrection law to outlaw democratic rights. What do you think would happen if they bring in the insurrection law in this country and set up a fascist dictatorship?
Utter chaos and a hell of a backlash.
It's just starting, it seems.
I don't know, but I think people listen to people. Even the Tesla drivers are pissed.
I'm here because we're heading toward tyranny. I know it sounds hyperbolic, but I really think that Trump is showing all those signs. You know, he's suppressing the press, right? He's suing all these different organizations, media outlets. How can a president who's supposed to be for free speech be suing the various, ABC, NBC, CBS? That's outrageous. Why are we putting up with that? I mean, isn't that the First Amendment? I guess because is he suing as an individual and that makes it okay? It's insane, right?
And I think he wants a dictatorship.
I don't know if it's that far or not, but I think he wants to have full control, and I guess that's the same thing, right? I mean, think about he's got the House, he's got the Senate, he's got the Supreme Court, and he can defy any law he wants because if the Supreme Court or any court sends a notice or a contempt of court or whatever to him, he doesn't have to obey it because he's in charge of the U.S. Marshals, right? And then if they go after one of his employees, right? They could probably go after one of his employees, and he'll just pardon the guy. The Constitution is great. But there's a flaw because they never knew we would have a president as bad as this guy, right? Do you agree?
What do you think people can do about this? Stop it. It seems like if the courts can't stop it, the Congress.
It's got to be the people. And I've been reading books about it. And I used to believe in the possibility of violent protests, but not anymore. I've read books that say that once you get to 3.5% in nonviolent protests, 3.5% have never failed when they've gone after a dictator. And the reason why nonviolent works better is because you can get people to join if it's nonviolent. You can get millions to join, like 3.5%.
You think millions are going to be joining this?
I hope so.
It seems like Trump and Musk are good agitators. They're provocateurs.
I know. They're just. He should get rid of Musk. What is he, crazy? Musk must own him, just like Putin owns him. I don't understand this, right? He's supposed to be this big tough guy, but he lets Musk do whatever he wants to do, right? And the cabinet. The cabinet, they want to determine who gets cut, right? They don't want to fire the people that they believe should be fired. Instead, they let Musk go in with a chainsaw. He's going with a chainsaw. No wonder the cabinet members hate him.
Oh, this is a swastika?
It is a swastika. Elon Musk is a Nazi.
How did he become so powerful?
I'm sorry?
How did he become so powerful?
I mean, he was born rich, right? He inherited a South African emerald mine and has basically failed upwards all his life.
And he's been given a lot of power. It seems like he's above the law.
Yeah, and no one elected him. He has no idea what he's doing. They fire people and rehire them the next day. What's going on? The country's being run by Muppets.
And where is it going? Because it seems like Trump wants to maybe institute the insurrection law so that people don't have any democratic rights. You wouldn't have the right to protest here.
I hope it ends up with Trump and Musk in prison for the rest of their lives. That's where they belong.
And the Writers Guild of America, you had a strike around AI.
Yes, we did.
They would like to use AI to get rid of all the workers in this country?
Yes, they would. And the strike was successful in pushing back on a lot of that, and I hope that continues.
And you think this kind of protest movement is going to grow?
I hope so. I hope so. I've never seen. I've lived in America now for almost 30 years. I've never seen anyone as unpopular as Elon Musk, and I think it is only going to get worse.
He seems like an agitator, provocateur.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Just call it what it is. He's an asshole. He's incompetent. He's never invented anything. He bought Tesla. He bought PayPal. Right? He's never created anything. He's not an engineer. He has no idea what he's doing. Everything he says is stupid. It baffles me that someone that incompetent and that stupid and that hateful can rise to such a position of wealth and power in this country.
And it seems like there's a growth of fascism, not just in the United States, but internationally. In Germany, he supported the AfD party. Are you concerned about the rise of fascism globally?
Yeah, I think you always have to be concerned about that. I think, it's very complacent to think that a Hitler-type figure can't, rise to power again, because we're seeing it right now. Trump is a modern-day Hitler.
And what's going to stop him?
Us.
How?
Doing things like this, standing up, voting, making it clear that we're not going to support Elon Musk and Tesla, driving down the stock price, making it increasingly unfashionable to drive a swastika, and collapsing his entire business empire.
He might lose his position.
I'm sorry?
He wouldn't lose his position. You think he'll lose his position? He'll be forced out of the government?
I mean, if his Tesla stock collapses, all of his loans and collateral, it's all collateralized against that.
It's a pyramid. He's got a pyramid.
Yeah, it's all built on sand. The Tesla stock price, all he ever does is promise things that don't actually ever show up. Those robo-taxis are never going to show up. I took a Waymo here. All the stuff that he's promising will happen one day, Google and other companies are already doing. He doesn't have the technology. He doesn't have the right people. He has no idea what he's doing. I used to own a Tesla. Worst car I've ever owned. An absolute piece of shit. Couldn't wait to get rid of it. Best thing I ever did was get rid of that car.
And what do you think about the rise of China? They say they have to compete against China. They have to have a tariff trade war against Canada and Mexico.
I mean, even the Wall Street Journal, which supported Trump, all the way through the election and is about as right-wing as you can find in an American newspaper, said tariffs are idiotic. And you try to find any economist in the world that will tell you tariffs are a good idea. You won't, because Trump just pulls his stuff out of his ass. He has no idea what he's doing.
Because I think that Elon Musk is a threat to our democracy, and the best way to hurt him is to hurt the value of Tesla, since it is the main source of his wealth.
Will it stop?
I have no idea, but it's our only hope to try.
I'm really upset by all of the anti-Semitic tropes that Elon Musk is flirting with. A number of months ago, he said that the Jews were promoting the Great Replacement theory, which is where they were trying to get rid of, the good white people in America and replace them with immigrants to try and destroy the country. And
Isn't he an immigrant himself?
He is, but he's the good kind of immigrant. We notice they are really after a certain kind of people. Trump is into, I want Canada, I want Greenland, I want European immigrants from Norway and Sweden, but we don't want anyone from South America. They're being very openly racist and dealing with anti-Semitic tropes. And then yesterday, Elon Musk, on his Twitter account, said that George Soros is actually paying all of us. We're paid actors being funded by, George Soros. And they used to complain that George Soros he was bad because he's a billionaire influencing politics. That's exactly what Elon Musk is. He's a billionaire openly using all of his money to influence politics. He spent $300 million getting Trump elected. So if that's not the problem with George Soros, then what is the problem with George Soros? Why are we making him the guy to blame for all the anti-Tesla energy? It's very clearly just an anti-Semitic trope. They're doing the same things they've always been doing. This is the same thing that we've seen this playbook before, right? This is not new.
Well, why are the Netanyahu and the ADL supporting Trump? They defended. They said it wasn't a Nazi salute. That was a little bizarre, wasn't it?
That is extremely bizarre, and it's because they are dealing with their own kind of demagoguery, and they know that if they all kind of stick to their own areas, they'll all get to do their own demagoguery in their own specific regions and get away with it just fine.
So you think it was a Nazi salute?
It was absolutely a Nazi salute. He did it twice. Here, let me ask it this way. If you were in the Third Reich and you were watching him do that, how would you correct his posture? How would you correct his technique? What could he have done to more correctly do a Nazi salute than what he did? Can you think of anything about the demonstration or the posture, the execution, that was not a perfect, maybe it wasn't 100%, but it was like, let's say, 9999%. Repeating, lots of nines, right? That's how good his Nazi technique was. It was a perfectly executed Nazi salute. And he used to go and have to apologize when he was doing kind of fashy stuff. Now he doesn't even apologize. He doesn't even bother trying to say, oops, I'm sorry, that was an accident. His representatives and people apologizing for him will, but he himself doesn't even bother. He just goes and makes Nazi jokes on his thing saying, you guys did not see that coming, wink, wink. You guys are gurgling this up, haha, wink, wink. So it's all just a joke to him. The Holocaust was a joke, fascism is a joke, demagoguery is a joke, because he's just a a very wealthy person who could do what he wants and is trying to actively destroy the country.
Are you worried about the rise of fascism, not just in this country, in Germany and other countries? Fascism seems to be growing around the world.
It does seem to be growing. It's extremely worrying. The only silver lining I can see is that if you look at the rise of the right wing in Canada, they've taken an enormous hit because of Donald Trump. People are starting to see that if you elect a demagogue who has no actual plans for the country except like tariffs and protectionism and blaming other people, it's actually really, really bad for the country. The stock market is doing shitty. The country's doing shitty. We have no alliances. And so in Canada, he's actually helping the Liberal Party get elected. So it's a weird situation where the worse America does because of Trump, the worse probably all right-wing governments will do, because they'll all kind of see what's happening to America and they won't want to repeat the exercise themselves. So I guess that's a little bit of silver lining. But yeah, the rise of the AfD in Germany, they were openly saying Alles für Deutschland, which is a banned phrase in Germany because it's a direct Nazi propaganda phrase, and they were openly co-opting that for their party. And then after that, Elon Musk went and campaigned for them. It did televised events for them. Jordan Bardella in France and Marine Le Pen, they're openly dealing with the same kind of anti-Semitic tropes. And yeah, it's disturbing. All I can hope is the rest of the world sees the shit show going on here and then tries to not repeat it.
Elon is the fraud.
Yeah, I'm for freedom and I want to make my voice heard. And it's so demoralizing what's happening right now, and every little thing everyone can do helps. There's more of us than there are of them, and we want freedom for everybody.
I'm here because our country is under attack, and I think we need to get rid of Elon Musk, who is an unelected, he's an asshole. Yeah, that's why I was such a word.
And well, a lot of people are saying that today. You say deport Musk. He is from South Africa. Apparently he worked here when he was a student, violating his visa.
I just wanted him deported just because he's an asshole. But yeah, I think we should requisition all of his assets and then distribute them to the immigrants who are here. And I think we should continue to warn the people who have bought Teslas and not feel sorry for them, but warn them. You've had 2 months. People are going, vandalizing them. They shrink your genitals, and we need to save them for our future generations.